Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to The Bald Perspective. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens make a trade for Draymond Jones, edge rusher from the Tennessee Titans. And I guess it's kind of a move that we could have expected. Not splashy, not really a game changer, something safe, a decent move, a rotational piece of sorts, but nothing that really moves the needle. And I guess much could have been expected for this to happen, right? We know the names that we thought that the Baltimore Ravens could pursue. I mentioned guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Bradley Chubb. The greatest hopeful was Max Crosby. We knew that Jalen Phillips was already off the board. So we thought about some of those guys, and this is where we landed. And I think that if I had to grade it out, I give it a C. Let me explain. If I'm grading it on the basis of a need, I give it an A, right? Because we absolutely needed an edge rush. You know, we traded away Odafe Owe. We lost Tavius Robinson to injury. David Ajabo hasn't done anything. And so it comes down to just needing a body to fill in. Granted, Draymond Jones has 4.5 sacks, got those in the last 4 games, which is good. But when it comes to moving the needle, I'm not sure if this does it. In fact, I'm certain that this doesn't do it. Because we don't have a Jeffrey Simmons that patrols the middle of that defense that helps out and opens some things up for an edge rusher. We have a Travis Jones who formerly was good to great, but we haven't seen that Travis Jones in some time. And so I give it an A for filling a need. For impact, I give it a C. Just off the strength of, again, having a guy who comes in with some credibility, a 6'3", 281-pound edge rush. He's not a guy that's going to drop into coverage, which I don't think most edge rushers need to drop in the coverage. But I think that with his big-bodied frame, he kind of gives me some Tavius Robinson vibes. Not that they're the same player, but the big-bodied, strong, physical edge rusher, a guy who can set the edge play against the run. I think that he could offer some experience. He can offer some veteran leadership in that department. And, he can, help stop the run. He has some position versatility, which is one of the big factors and why I think they brought him in. And so impact, I give it a C. Again, I was expecting that we could go get a guy who can change life, a guy who can go get the quarterback. And I just don't think Draymond Jones is it. I'm not poo-pooing the deal, right? Because what we gave up to get him is kind of minimum, a 5th-round pick that could turn into a 4th-round pick. But at the same time, I think his impact is going to be very much the same as an Odafe Owe or even a Tavius Robertson. I read an article earlier this morning that said Zach Orr got exactly what he needed, or he got the missing piece, because what Zach Orr needs was a guy who can go get the quarterback, can collapse the pocket and change life. So that way it helps out what's going on in the secondary. Nevertheless, I hope this is just one of several moves that we make. There may be a move being made and being reported right now as I'm recording this video. And so this video may be null and void, but as it pertains to just the move itself, I'm giving the overall move a C. So I gave it an A for need, a C for impact, and I give it a D for effort. And I give it a D for effort, which is going to bring us into that C territory, only because when you look at what other teams have done, specifically the Eagles, when they go and make a decision to do something, they just do it, right? They went and got a cornerback while they needed a cornerback. They went and got an edge rusher while they needed an edge rusher. And I think they made one more trade that they needed. And it's not that any of the players they brought in were holistically elite, but they went and got everything that they needed in a timely fashion, enough to get the week 10 practices started so that they're able to game plan, implement. Jones is not going to get into Baltimore till today. Today is Tuesday. They won't get on to Phil until Wednesday. So I do believe he'll start. Excuse me. I do believe he'll play Sunday, but I do not believe he'll start. And I just don't think the impact is going to be that needle mover that we really needed. So you guys let me know what you want me to know. I'll be back around 4:30 with a end of the day, end of the trade deadline wrap up. I'm your guy Belanger, and until next time, I'm out.